You good? Okay, we're taping. Okay, so this is what happened. Because part 2, Arthur Luxenberg, we finished taping and then we are in the studio catching up on everything like there was. We should have just been taping till now.
The after party.
This is literally the after party of the first studio.
This is the VIP room.
So first of all, okay,
Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen has like watch what happens live,
right?
And then they have like go on the internet and that's what this is.
This is our Patreon.
Okay, so we have another 40 minutes of the studio. Part 2, Arthur Luxenberg. First question that's coming into my head now was you said that you were the guy that did all the legal research for when you were starting your company. There was no internet. Did you sit there with the books?
Yeah.
Those ridiculous books that they had in the law offices?
Yeah. It's unbelievable that, I don't know if you know like what a concordance is. Like a concordance is like an index. And you go to the index and you look up words and concepts.
Dewey Decimal System.
And then it directs you to the books, all those books on the wall. Go to this book, go to that book. That's what legal research was back then. It was by hand. And you know what? It was doing it the hard way. But
today, it's just you zap on Google search and you're in there.
And shortly after, Westlaw was the biggest company, that really entered that space that you were able to do legal research. And by the way, I never did legal research on Westlaw. Never. I did it the old-fashioned way. I, looked it up.
Right. This is like Leo and I had to write something for an upcoming event that we're doing. And so I'm writing the whole thing and I'm on the phone with Leo and he goes, "Don't kill me, but I just put this into ChatGPT."
Boom.
By the way, insane.
Insane. We were in the car, we're driving. Leo's next to me, and he had to give this one woman some kind of a bio or some kind of, I don't know what it was. Somebody called him for a letter of recommendation.
Yeah.
But she didn't give him enough time. He would have written it with his whole heart. He puts, she's good at this, that. She was here, there, and there. Boom. Puts it into that chat GPT, whatever it's called.
And it writes it for you.
Boom.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
It's pretty insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. By the way, so again, when we finished taping the last thing, he told us how his connection with Brunello Cucinelli is, and we got that, but we can't share. And then now we're asking real law questions here. First of all, this whole thing with Trump, what's happening? Bring our viewers up to, is he going to be able to run or no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's his whole thing. I mean, look, I'm not, political at this point.
No. Legal.
Right. Yeah.
Legal.
Look, I'm not a legal commentator, but yeah. I mean, he thrives on this.
You're our legal commentator.
You're our legal oh, yes. Like when they have on CNN.
Yes.
Senior legal editorial by Arthur Luxenberg.
Can I, by the way, that's amazing.
It's a great idea.
Right.
Great idea.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm the legal commentator for the...
And here's Modi Podcast.
Modi Podcast.
You're in good company because our other legal commentator, the only other lawyer we had on the show is...
Alan Dershowitz.
Oh, yeah.
And we spoke only about cantorial singing.
Really? Yeah.
No one wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear
good
about
guy.
his
Done a lot of good.
Yeah. And he's going crazy. Now with all of Israel, he's really pro-Israel.
Okay, first of all...
He's been crapping on Obama.
First of all, he's my best friend.
That's right. I forgot. You and him are...
We just had him back on the Seller podcast.
He's going to be jealous. He's going to be jealous.
Is on fire.
Yep.
He's 85 years old.
Mm-hmm.
From October 7th until last week or whenever we had him on the show, he has written another book.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. He is, I guess it's not unbelievable at all, but he is so insightful and so sharp. And everything he was talking about with Israel was just unbelievable.
No, but he had the whole thing with Obama. Obama was...
Yes. He was talking about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great lawyer.
Great lawyer, yeah.
Great lawyer.
And it's insane. But now we have our own great lawyer.
We have
now.
our
yeah,
own.
we have our own.
I might dress better than him.
You definitely dress better than him.
You know.
He looks He looks like with the. It looks
Why?
like,
No, he shows up in a suit.
Yeah, but from
he's-
Burlington Coat Factory.
No.
Yeah, not like which just fits him. It fits his
Exactly.
It fits his thing.
Definitely not from Burlington Coat Factory.
It's
He's
not
using that
from,
as
just
an example. You know.
I'm just
All right.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry,
All right.
Periel. Did I offend your boyfriend?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
he
she
doesn't
gets
dress
offended.
as well as me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Wait, but what were we asked? What were we talking about?
Nothing. I realized that
Trump. No, so
I think he thrives on this. I think he runs.
But legally, the man's being indicted for things that he's going to be.
Doesn't. By the way, from my understanding, legally, those kind of things are halted once you're the president. Once you're the president. I mean, that's why situations like with Clinton, that whole Monica Lewinsky thing, all went away for all the time that he was the president. So if Trump,
that is so corrupt.
it does. You don't.
It's like so all of the horrible things you potentially or allegedly did just disappear.
No. They don't disappear. They get put on. They get delayed.
Okay,
They get
So he
delayed.
can run and then become president, and then they bring back what happened.
If you remember, I'm not crystal clear on it, but the concept that you have to remember was that Trump wanted to resign before he was finished. He wanted to resign, and he wanted Pence to pardon him for things that he had done.
Really?
And that whole thing never happened, but that's what the news was talking about.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So he could really he's in. He's like it's
In what?
into the president. Periel, we have been traveling through America.
Yeah.
You haven't been.
Yeah,
They are looking for him to be the next president.
yeah. We don't.
He's going to win again?
You're living in New York. You're in a
I don't
bubble.
know.
You're at
We
the
don't have
Comedy
another-
Cellar. You're at the.
We don't have another. We don't have another Republican. We don't have another Republican.
I'm a Republican now.
Why?
Because I don't like what's going on with Israel. I don't like being called a homophobe who supports genocide by
By the way,
all of my former friends.
if you're ever in Arthur's office, there's pictures of him and Joe Biden,
Joe Biden was a very old friend of mine. I mean,
who's also a stutterer.
No.
absolutely.
100%.
By the way,
But he's so
Well, he's
fakalit,
right.
he
Yeah.
can't remember his
Yeah.
tricks
No.
to not
That's
stutter.
not true. I don't
No.
think
Don't tell
that's
me.
an accurate
no.
depiction.
It is. Joe Biden is a acknowledged stutterer.
No. I'm talking about that he's not with it. That's what I was saying. I
He's-
think that he's doing.
What I'm saying to you is, in the very beginning, when you would see Joe Biden a little bit lost, it was because he hadn't been so used to speaking publicly in that way. And that's why the teleprompter helped him a lot, because none of us stutter with a teleprompter. You could look at words and just read them and not stutter.
Really?
Yeah, you don't stutter when you sing.
Yeah.
You don't stutter when you're in a room alone.
You don't stutter when you know your bit and all the words that go in there.
But Modi, if you're in a room alone
Yeah.
and somebody asks you to read something, or you're just talking and there's no camera on you, right? Do you stutter?
Sometimes don't forget, I'm also dyslexic. So when I read, it's
Forget reading.
Okay, so
Somebody asks you, somebody said, go into the room. You're alone. There's nobody there. It's not being recorded. Do you stutter? You won't.
I won't. I never
won't.
did that.
You won't. But the moment that I tell you you're being filmed, even though no one's in there,
Yeah.
and there's no camera guy, just the camera's there, you'll stutter.
Why?
It's because part of the science, the medical science, the physical science of stuttering is that, how you do something, I mean, you're so used to speaking publicly and being out there, but even if you are, you have like a little bit of anxiety. You have, remember the term, you have butterflies in your stomach?
Yeah.
Okay, we all do. A stutterer with butterflies in their stomach, that manifests itself in a stutter. That nervousness, that anxiety, that uncertainty that we're feeling when we speak publicly and we're out in a room manifests in a stutterer that has not great control in stuttering. That's
How
why.
come you don't stutter when you sing?
Because it's an unbelievable thing, guys. It's a different part of your brain.
Yeah.
Singing and talking
Yeah.
are different parts of your brain.
Really?
There's a very famous Israeli singer, what's his name? From a Greek background. Can't speak a word.
Oh, look.
No. And when he speaks, he can't get words out. When he sings, it's unbelievable. I just forgot his name. Wow.
Yeah.
But
It's very well known, that it's, singing.
so politically, I know, not politically, legally, you think Trump is going to be able to run?
Yes.
Arisan?
Arisan. No, Arisan is a Greek singer. Not Yehuda Poliker.
Oh.
Yehuda Poliker.
Okay.
Yeah, he stutters heavily. He heavily stutters, and when he sings, it's magical. Yeah. What else were we talking about when we just decided to start filming again? Because when we stopped filming last time, but you kept asking, is the mic off? Is the mic off? Because you were talking about
Well, we were having some sensitive conversations.
very sensitive conversation.
Under the cone of silence between Modi, Periel, and Arthur.
Exactly.
I didn't give away any really.
No.
Well, now that you're a legal consultant, it's probably covered by some sort
attorney-client.
Attorney podcast privileges.
I love that.
So what? We had big news. We have big news.
Yeah, we're doing the 92nd Street Y for the 100th episode of this
But you got to
podcast.
explain to them
But we
what
have.
that is.
I know you're very excited about that. I'm excited about it too.
Yeah, well, you're interviewing me. It's called
But-
Conversation with. We called up to see if the theater was available, and they said no, but we do these things called Conversation with, and I felt so like I'm so happy that they wanted to do this with me because it's Woody Allen's been in these things.
It's iconic.
Iconic.
It's very
It's 92nd
New York
Street Y.
iconic.
You didn't know last night when I told you about this.
I didn't.
You
What
didn't.
night? You don't know the 92nd Street Y?
Of course,
Oh, okay.
I know 92nd Street Y is that place that has an impossible school to get into. That people keep calling me to see if I know anybody there. That's what I know about the 92nd Street Y.
But they have these interview
I
series.
don't know about it, but
No,
I'm
but
excited for you.
Thank you.
Wait.
And
The
it's
history
Yeah.
of the 92nd Street Y, because I'm going to tell you, is so interesting. I was just reading about it, how it started. Do you know how it started?
no.
Neither do
But I remember going to see people that I absolutely adored being interviewed there. I saw Alan King being interviewed there. I saw so many amazing, and I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm so excited.
I know. It's very exciting. On March 22nd, 1874, it started from a German Jewish professional and businessman met to explore ways in which they could serve the social and spiritual needs of the American Jewish community.
Bam.
Nice.
That's how it
That's
started.
us. That is us.
It started in 1874 as the Young Men's Hebrew Association.
Perfect.
Very, very cool.
When? 1864?
1874.
Oh, wow.
But that is extremely exciting. But that was not the first thing I was going to say. That
What?
we were officially married now, me and you.
Why?
We signed our contract.
For the book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're working on a book.
Wow.
All the crazy stories I tell you when we go to dinner, we're putting them in a
Yeah.
book.
I love that.
Yeah. Crazy stories from the road,
It's
crazy
official.
stories of growing up at a time,
I'd like to write one of the forwards, one of the, you
100%.
should have a lot of people
Yeah.
contributing,
It's actually interesting to have. That's an interesting idea.
What, forwards?
Not even necessarily forwards, but like I'm also
inclusions,
or like questions. Like I could ask you like a couple of things about Modi and that because Leo's giving me like jewel tones. We're calling it.
What the hell's that?
It's like getting a story out of you.
Vape?
No.
That's what you vape?
No, getting a story out of Modi is sometimes a little bit like pulling teeth.
I don't know.
No, she came to Florida. We were in Florida to work on this book. So I dropped an Adderall so I could sit there and focus. And if I hit the Adderall and I can get the stories out, and then like she's like, "Hi, can we stop for lunch? It's been 6 hours. We haven't moved from the table."
Were you taping them?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, and then we were getting the stories down. And
No, but then it's like, and then he'll like, I basically moved in with him and Leo for like 4 days and taped him down to a chair and was like extrapolating these stories and information. And then like casual at dinner 2 nights later, he'll tell me like the most unbelievable, insane story. And I'm like, how is that not in the book?
So did you transcribe them?
Yes.
Oh, you did already.
yeah.
So you probably have a lot of great material.
Well, I have a lot of great material that needs to be then turned into.
Yeah, but editors do that.
No.
She's the.
No. It needs to be really turned into like a narrative and essays. And
Yeah, of course.
But then I have to talk to Leo to get like, the more detailed information and stuff. He's like, why do you want to know that? It's not interesting. Then it turns out to be the most interesting stories.
Yeah.
The book is great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's going to be great. Great little stories. Really funny stories. I didn't even realize how funny they were. From the road. I'm not a regular comic. I'm performing these events, situations that are
I
insane.
think you need to like interview people like that guy we met last night.
Arnold.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he knows you when you were Modi.
Could be an interesting idea to get like little stories.
We don't need that. It's not like I just need the funny. What's funny? Just need funny stuff out. Make sure the story's funny. Make sure it's good. That's all we really need. It's just great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Arthur, by the way, if you ever go to his office, he has like carts of books.
I want to come just for the snacks.
Anytime.
Very good. Toblerone. Mini Toblerones.
No joke.
Minis. Little ones.
And he's got stacks of books. Any book he likes, he buys 1 billion and gives it to everybody else.
I love that.
I got some good books.
What's your number one book to give people?
The 5 People You Meet in Heaven.
Who are they?
The 5 people you meet in heaven I'm lost for words for a second. The 5 people you meet in heaven is a story about the 5 people you meet in heaven after you pass that explain your life. Everything that is unexplained to us, that we can't understand how that could be, that we say, how could this possibly have happened? How in the world did God ever let this happen? Get explained to us. And in the most incredibly creative way, it's explained. And that's what the book is about. And the book is about 100 pages. You read it in about 2 hours, and it makes you a believer that there really is somebody that's pulling the strings up there. There is somebody really in control. And when you say, how could this be? How could this have happened? How could we be in this circumstance? From the little insight that you get in the book, you say, wow, that's unbelievable. And it's this twisted way that it all makes sense after you read a little book like this. You say, wow, I could understand now how some of the things in my life that are mysteries happened. And the same author wrote a whole bunch of books, and they're great. But look, there's a lot of other books that I've read, little books that were advertised that I read, that I hand out. Books on anger, are great. Books on emotional intelligence, where, we're able to, you may not be able to control a circumstance, but we can control, how we react to it.
My husband should read that book.
But we all could benefit from it. All these books are read because we realize that we could benefit from, a book. It's nothing, the first step to helping yourself is realizing you could do better at something. So, you find something that resonates with you, you buy a bunch of them, you give it out.
I love that.
No, I always give out the book, Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. That's my go-to. When I speak to somebody, I order on Amazon. What's
I
your
started
address?
reading that. I have to finish reading it.
It's so good. How could you put it down? Once you start that book, I cannot. When I reread that book, I can't put it down.
Well, I'm really reading it because I feel like I have to read it before I write our book. Like, I feel like to really understand you have to read that book.
Absolutely.
Like, that book is
absolutely
integral to your...
integral to my life.
Yeah.
Everything just changed. Just seeing everything in a positive light. Everything is happening. You can make it. Your thoughts, all of that stuff is in there. All the self-help books are basically the same. It's a different way to present it. It's a different way to show it to somebody that might be a better way to help them. 5 people you meet in heaven, it might be just, hey, we're down here. This is what's happening. Lean into it and make it good.
No, I mean, the $99,000 question we're all searching for is like, what happened at that festival where young people died, and what happened in Gaza where babies were slaughtered and, women were raped? Like, what happened there? Like, how could that have happened? People forget, or they don't forget. Many people don't forget, what happened in the Holocaust, but nobody's really asking those questions anymore. What happened? Where was God then? But like something that's so new, October 7th.
Yeah.
What happened? And, you think like sometimes like we deserve an explanation. Sometimes somebody's got to give us some kind of a sign that everything's okay. And, I think about that a lot, like looking for a sign, like maybe my father who's up there is going to come to me in a dream and just tell me it's all right. Someone's got to just let everybody know I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll make sense one day. Right now, it seems like the furthest thing from reality, but I got this. And I think that that's a little bit. There are people with enormous emunah. They're going to believe everything and anything, no matter what. And then there are people on the other extreme, that don't believe that God is controlling any of this. And then there are people in the middle that, see these situations and they question it and they ask themselves, how could this be? And that's where emunah really steps in and separates the people that completely believe from the people that are going to question things once in a while.
I don't know. I don't have any of the answers. I just thinking in, so this happened October 7th. But October 6th was the holiday, that, and the state of Israel was a mess. The government was a hot mess. The government was at each other's throats. Horrible situation in that with the government. And I don't want to take sides or whatever, but it was just embarrassing and horrible. And all of a sudden, in 24 hours, the country's united.
Yeah.
No one should have been raped, and no one should have been killed, and no one should have been murdered or taken hostage. But something happened that brought the country together now, I have no idea.
The civilians have been united.
Yep.
But the government itself is still a mess. And the civilians are irate,
right,
by the way.
But it's still, there's a unity. Something happened to break that.
And also there is probably a lot of things that we don't know.
And I always say, I live in America. I did not serve in the army. I don't ever give the conclusions of what you should do or what they should do because I don't live there. I don't live there. I just wish them Mashiach energy always, and that you can't. But that's what they should do. Unless you're writing a $20 million check to the government, then you can say what to do. But I'm not. So I never, and I don't live there, so I can't be like, this is what they should be doing and this is why they should do it. I can't have that opinion. I can't.
I have a question for both of you. Maybe Arthur first. Are you surprised at the rabid anti-Semitism that we have seen come to the forefront of this country all over the world since October 7th?
I'm not surprised by it. I'm blown away by it, it's just something that, we're just beginning to deal with. I mean, you have educated people, professors at universities and students at the best universities that are just not realizing the atrocities that occurred, and and don't understand the issues. Meaning, if some of the best interviews on Instagram are interviews of people speaking to some of the other people that are either signing petitions or other things, and they ask them, by the way, do you know this, or do you know that, or do you know where Gaza is, or no idea.
True.
They're just following a crowd. And my partner sent me something really interesting to listen to. It was an hour-long podcast. I don't remember who the person was, but it was great, and I'll circulate it. And what was it? It was a person that explained and took the position that we've got this wrong. Okay, we've got this wrong, and all the people in the United States and in the rest of the world have it wrong. This is their religion. What they did, they were following Muhammad. If you read, the reason we don't know is we haven't read the Quran. We don't know what happened in there. We don't know the stories. Biblically, we know our own stories. This is how Muhammad operated. This is what he did. This is the atrocities that he committed in the Quran. This is what he spoke about. They're just following their leader. It has nothing to do with Gaza and any supposed oppression of Palestinians that were living there. It's a mistake. It's a perfect storm. That's what it is. It's their religion.
So the Quran doesn't teach peace and love?
No.
No, it doesn't.
It teaches exactly what occurred, and the podcast detailed it and translated it and showed it in very clear ways how these people are acting. And the fact that we're taking a position here, right? This anti-Semitism is shocking.
But I've seen imams on Instagram that have been saying that the Quran basically says, do not kill women, do not kill children, do not kill elderly, and they were saying that what they did was absolutely not of the Islamic religion, and I can't imagine any religions built on killing.
What this podcast explained very carefully and quoted from excerpts of the Quran, detailed that this is the conduct that Muhammad acted. This is how he acted, and that their conduct was copying his. They were following their leader, just like we observe the Sabbath, and we have we send flyers out in Gaza before we're going to invade that everybody should leave, and we give notice, weeks worth of notice. They kill in that way, in that very violent way. They kill.
Yeah. What?
The anti-Semitism.
The anti-Semitism is insane. And
Are you surprised though? Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked. It's just, it was there. It wasn't, just like the insurrection, January 6th, it was just, there is this living in America. There is this people who are the white power, and it's there.
But no. But this is
And now it's a
people
reveal.
who are KKK white power. There are people on the campuses of Harvard University.
This now that Israel is retaliating in Gaza, it opens up the floodgates for all the anti-Semitic things happening in the world.
Because I think that a lot of these people either weren't informed or weren't informed or forgot what happened October 7th.
Right.
Israel waited, a good deal of time, before they retaliated.
I
and
will
went back
say
into Gaza.
Nikki Haley said right away on like October 8th, 9th, we are seeing the footage now of what happened in this. But remember, in a few weeks, when Israel is retaliating and remember that this is what it was. Yesterday, for some reason, I put NPR on while we were in the car. The way they present the news is so insane and so against any normality of way to be a journalist. The way they presented this hospital attack, if you're seeing the videos, and I really try to limit what I'm seeing, but you're seeing soldiers with the cameras. Here we are. This is the house of the head of Hamas. This is the hospital. And here is the entrance of the tunnel that goes under the hospital and through that. And NPR is like, Israel today attacked the hospital and bombed it, and civilians died, and da-da-da. They forgot to mention that in the basement is the Hamas headquarters, that they tried to get everybody out as they could. They took the kids to another place, location from the before they bombed whatever they had to bomb, the opening of the tunnel. The way they present it is so insane. And then it gets all of these insane kids who think that who listen to NPR and like the woke and like, this is why we have to support Palestine. And then you have that Leo turned his Instagram off because of Queers for Palestine. These gay, lesbian, trans people.
Not even realizing what would happen.
What are they?
Not what would happen if they ever were in Gaza or Palestine.
My friend sent me videos in Washington Square Park, Queers for Palestine, and it's white, 20 to 30-year-old idiots standing there with their purple hair, screaming, queers, trans for Palestine. They would gas all of them in a minute. In a hot minute. The Hamasis and the regular Palestinians would gas them, not just the Hamas. The regular ones would also kill them. And we had in the news lately, when Israel came in there and soldiers who are gay pulled out of the rainbow flag. Here we are in Palestine with a flag. And Chabad set up a table where here you can put on tefillin in Gaza, and they have the services. And there's one picture that's so amazing. And believe me, I really, 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 really try to limit what I watch. There's a picture of this, like an officer, and they're having a service. It probably Rosh Chodesh. It was Rosh Chodesh, the new month was there. And you read the Torah, and he's reading it, and for the pointer, he's using his battle knife. So he's like, when you read the Torah, you point. It's like it's very hard to read because there's no.
And you're not supposed to touch the
actual thing with your hands. So usually there's a yad, there's a little hand, like a silver hand, and it looks like this, and you point that, and you go Amen, and then, but he's using a knife, this battle knife, this insane battle knife. They put a joke out of it, like no one's ever going to correct him if he makes a mistake. Because usually in the services, when someone reads the Torah and he makes a mistake, everybody right away starts to, but just the whole thing, it's like, we tried to put our hand out. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Now the knife is out. Beware. That was I took from that picture before reading the thing. Anyway, so I'm glad we got an extra, a half hour we did with Arthur.
Nice.
It was just
got a little serious, a little sobering.
Yeah.
A little, but we did have a very funny conversation before when we clipped off after the first podcast.
Which part?
I don't know. You said we can't mention what it was, but you were on fire. So we just figured we just keep recording.
I'll be back.
You're always welcome back.
I think I'm going to pop in here.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So this is a short. How long was this one? 35. We're at 35. We're good. We're what?
I think.
We're good to go. No. That was a fun one, a short one. Thanks for listening.
Did you guys announce the book? Did you talk about the book?
We just talked about it.
Right,
We're
you
working.
did.
It's so good. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, A&H Provisions. Thank you very much for being a part of our podcast. Kosher Dogs.
kosherdogs.net. It's perfect for Thanksgiving to chop it up, put it in the turkey.
Oh, look at you with the recipes. And code MODI for your first order, 30% off if you use the code MODI. And of course, Weitz Luxenberg, thank you for being a part of our family. Literally, it's not a collab, it's family.
Family.
And Arthur's here for the
Good to be here.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Shows, Atlanta, Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta. The tour, the Know Your Audience tour is live. Go to modilive.com and get a show. The Paramount, the San Diego,
modilive.com.
I know the other shows too. Balboa Theater. Go to modilive.com. Find a show near you. Find a show near your friends. Send them the link. Be the friend who brings the friends to the comedy show. And that is Mashiach Energy, which is what we're about here. Anything you want to close with?
And if you're not following Jack Snacks,
Oh, Jack Snacks.
you're making a mistake.
Yes. Well, don't follow Jack Snacks. Order.
I'm sorry.
If
Right,
you're in the
Right.
tri-state area, right? She's
missing out.
still.
Yeah.
Although she's telling us that
Yes.
she's going to blow up out of there. She got delivering.
Still delivering, right? She's still delivering.
Yes.
Manhattan,
Jack
Five
Snacks.
Towns, Great Neck.
When you are invited to go for Shabbat somewhere, and you need to what am I going to buy them? Flowers or a dish or whatever. Just go to Jack Snacks and order this beautiful arrangement that comes there. It is literally, it's Mashiach Energy in a box and yummy and tasty. And it's always abundant. You can tell this girl grew up in a house of abundance. It's like, you saw this.
Excess.
Excess. I didn't want to say excess.
No, it's not always negative, but
Excess.
abundance is
So yeah. So
overflowing.
Shefa.
Shefa.
Yes, great word.
Great, what a great word, Shefa. So order Jack Snacks for yourself, but also when you have to go somewhere, bring it to a friend. Holidays are coming up. Shabbat is every week. Bring it to your friends. Send them a little Mashiach energy. Thank you, Arthur, for staying on with us.
Thank you.
Periel, and
Pleasure.
all of you listeners, modilive.com for shows near you. Thank you very, very much.
We're out.
We're out. Nice. 2 episodes.
For the why I said